I love it. Like the middle area. Yeah.
And streaming online. So if you didn't know that we stream all of our Coffee with the Principals, and we try to stream a lot of other things to our online platform, our Kennedy YouTube platform. And we do that because we know that this isn't always a convenient time for everybody. And so you're able to live from wherever you are. You're able to watch it later as a recorded, downloadable. So we appreciate you guys being here, both in person and online. My name is Poppy Hill-Bonales, and I am the proud principal here at Kennedy High School. Year 2, guys. I made it. And I will pass it over to my partner in crime.
And my name is David Hernandez. I'm the faces here at Kennedy High School, also year 2. So we got the double combo going.
Yeah.
We passed probation.
We did. We did. We passed probation. You'll notice that we're using those microphones, and you might be wondering if you're here in this space that it's not amplifying our voice, but it's because it's hooked into the YouTube. So that's what's going on there, and we're able to be loud for that since the mic over there is far away. So we're able to be. We're going to get started. And we're going to get started with just a little bit of background for those of you who might be new to our Anaheim Union High School District community, our Kennedy community. This is our Anaheim Union High School District mission and vision. And really, this part right here, I think this overarching idea of creating a better world is like a very, very powerful ideology that we prescribe to. And really the how we do that comes from elements from our mission statement. So if you see in here, how are we creating this better world? We are doing that by graduating socially aware, civic-minded students who are life-ready by cultivating soft and hard skills. And you might wonder, well, what does that mean, soft skills and hard skills? Sometimes in education, we throw those phrases out and we think it's common vernacular, common wording, but it isn't always. So a soft skill is a skill that can transfer to all sorts of different learning zones or job zones. For example, critical thinking is a soft skill. It doesn't matter what type of career, it doesn't matter what type of college major you might choose to have. That soft skill of critical thinking is incredibly important. Another one, for example, is creativity, to be able to kind of navigate the world through this creative mindset. That's another one of those soft skills. So if you think about our 5 C's, those are the soft skills. The hard skills are what we call the technical skills. And I think for many of us that went through junior high and high school in the United States, we're very familiar with those technical skills, those hard skills. Those are skills like learning how to write an essay correctly, learning how to punctuate a paragraph, learning how to do FOIL in math, learning a formula. Those are hard skills. That's sort of concrete and specific to a particular type of class or particular type of information. And then here at Kennedy, what we are trying to do to also meet that mission and vision, here's our own mission and vision. So our vision is to engage, educate, and empower. So we engage students in school, community, and global activities which encourage passion, empathy, and open-mindedness. And if you go back to the Anaheim Union High School District mission and vision, you see connections there, and that's on purpose. We educate students in a rigorous and diverse curriculum that fosters critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication. There's those soft skills there that we talked about before. And then finally, ultimately, what is it that we want education to be doing for our students, our children here at Kennedy? We want our students to leave Kennedy empowered. Empowered to work in conventional and unconventional ways, to be innovative, to be successful in their life pursuits, to make big changes in this world. That's what we want for our students. And so all of the things that we do are with the goal of engaging, educating, and empowering. And we've been pretty successful at it. Now, I know some of these measurements aren't as important as other measurements, like, are our students, when they graduate us, able to navigate the world successfully? And ultimately, that's really what is the most important thing. And that's kind of street data. That's not data that we can collect, really. That's data that we know from talking to students who come back to us and say, Kennedy has prepared me. That's data that we get when our seniors do their capstone portfolio showcase presentations and they say, Kennedy has prepared me. I am prepared. But on the other end, we're really proud of some of this data as well. So for example, we are a 2020 California democracy school. In fact, every school in the Anaheim Union High School District is a California democracy school, which is incredible. I believe we might be the only district in California that has every school be the California democracy school. We are also a 2024 California Distinguished School Award recipient. That's very special to us as well. And last year, we were awarded the highest honor that you can get as a civic learning school, the Civic Learning School of Excellence Award in 2024. We've been talking about this for about a year. Last September, the state chief justice, Patricia Guerrero, and the state superintendent of public instruction, Tony Thurman, was on campus to give us this award last September. That's pretty incredible. We are a 2024 AP Honor Roll Bronze. 2025 is about to come out. We'll see where we are. And we are a Best High Schools U.S. News and World Report in 2023, 2024, and just published today. It came out today, 2025 as well. And then here's our incredible state superintendent of public instruction. So think about our incredible outgoing superintendent, Michael Matsud, at the district office. So he is that guy for the entire state. And so he was here on campus posing with their kids. And this is the Chief Justice, Patricia Guerrero, posing with our students last September. We're very proud of that. All right, so here we are, another school year. Take a breath with me. It's probably with mixed feelings, right? You're glad that they are not in your house 24 hours a day. They have a place to go. They have a time they need to wake up. That feels good. And they have a place to be. And yet all of the rigor and the stress of being a parent of a teenager in a high school is back. And we understand that. So we want to talk through a little bit about what it is that makes a student at Kennedy High School successful and how really as parents we can support our student to be successful. So we're going to talk through that a little bit.
And it really takes a team, I think.
It does.
And the teaching and the learning doesn't stop just here in the classroom. It extends all the way to the house as well.
And that's really one of the most important things that I think David and I want to double down on is this notion. So remember in elementary school when all of the parents showed up and you sat for an hour helping your kids with homework. And remember that? And then eventually, as they grow up, we do that as parents less and less. And it's very natural that we do that because we are trying to pass the responsibility of learning to them. Because eventually they're going to have to leave us and be independent, autonomous thinkers on their own, right? And so that's very, very natural. I would argue, though, that we need to gradually release. So some of us, the minute our kid turns, they go into freshman year, 9th grade, 14 years old, they're like, okay, you're in high school, you're on your own now, figure it out. And that might not be the best tactic. I understand the instinct behind that because they are in just a short 4 years going to truly be on their own. And I understand the instinct behind that. But we still need to put on those little, like the little bumpers for, you know, when you go bowling and you need the little bumpers on the lanes. We still need the bumpers on the lanes a little bit, guys. Trust me, we still do. So some of the things that you can do to be the bumpers, to release, but not release entirely, to help them become autonomous, independent learners. So the first is to ask your student about their classes and their teachers. There's a difference between, and I had to make this change when my own children were in high school, from what did you learn today? Because what I would get from every single one of them was, I don't know, or nothing. And so I switched. And instead of what did you learn today, tell me something interesting from first period. Or tell me who you ate lunch with today. Specifics that can be answered. They know the answer to that. This general 6.5 hours of learning, they might not be able to pull some things out. So try to be specific and see if it changes from, I don't know, to an actual answer. And then you get to ask follow-up questions, which were like, oh my gosh, okay, I get to ask a follow-up question. Also, one of the things that you can do to support that, like emerging into the autonomous learner, like they're like little mini grown-ups, but not quite yet, is encourage them to talk to the teacher if they're having trouble with course material, encouraging them to talk to the teacher. So what we did in elementary school is we wrote the email to the teacher, right? And we probably did that in junior high too. And that's very, very normal. And we may eventually have to do that in high school as well. But the first step is to help them sit down and write the email. Okay, let's sit down. What is it you're having trouble with? Let's write this email to the teacher. Let's write it in a professional way. What a great opportunity to kind of learn how to write to a teacher in a professional way. We need help. So how are we going to get what we want from this relationship? And encouraging them to do that is a very good way of getting them on that journey to that little semi-adulthood that we're working for. Also, remind your students to take advantage of tutoring options. We say TBA because we're not sure when they'll be available in the library quite yet, but it's in the library. It's after school. It's before school. And it'll go out in our Sunday newsletter. It'll go out on social media. All of that information will go out. Encourage them to take advantage of that. Often, our students don't quite do that. And they think that asking for help means that they are not smart. And I don't know how we can get past that, because what we've sort of realized as adults, most of us, is that asking for help when we need help is actually a sign of supreme intelligence. And so somehow getting our students to a place where asking for help is actually a very, very positive thing, and encouraging them at home to do that.
And I think taking initiative is a skill you can learn that applies high school, college, jobs. So I think a lot of the teachers do appreciate when the students take the initiative to send that email out, maybe have that conversation after school. It goes a long way.
It does. And then having students stay updated. Now you're going to need to stay updated too. And we're going to talk about how you do that, because you're going to be kind of behind the scenes. Like the thing that changes in high school is you're still helicopter parenting, but like behind the scenes a little bit. You're like the secret Black Hawk helicopter that's like, is that a helicopter? But right now they're trying to, hovering far, but like there, just in case, right? Having them stay on top of their A through G and grad status and having them do it early. 9th grade grades count. 10th grade grades count. 11th grade counts. And this will be the first time, because at junior high, it's really just kind of pass. We move our students on to high school. This will be a very big, for our 9th grade students, this will be a big experience where the grades, if you don't pass a class, you have to make up the class. In junior high, they don't make you do that. In high school, if you don't pass the class, you have to repeat it. And all that energy that you spent for a year sitting in that class is wasted because you didn't turn in the things that you needed to turn in. And a lot of our students will focus on the graduation status. And we love that. It's not quite published yet, and I can't write it on paper yet, but Kennedy High School has the highest grad rate in the entire district. Higher than Oxford. The highest grad rate in the entire district. And as soon as it gets published, I'm going to splash that number all over the place. It is so exciting. We only had 2 students who did not graduate last year, 2 out of the entire cohort. And they actually took the high school exit exam. So they took a choice that was appropriate for them. It just doesn't count for our grad rates. So technically, it's almost 100%, right? Technically. Highest in the district. But what we're realizing is our A through G rates are sort of steady. They're not raising at the rates that other schools are raising at. And that's those courses that you have to take and pass in order to be eligible to go to a 4-year university. That's our A through G rate. And what we're hearing from a lot of students and a lot of families is, well, I don't really need to be A through G. I'm going to focus on graduation because I'm planning to go to Cyprus with the Anaheim Pledge and get 2 years free and then transfer on. And that's great. That's money savvy, and Cyprus is a great school, and absolutely that works. The thing that we know, though, is those students that maintain A through G throughout their high school and choose to go to Cyprus because it saves them money and time and all of those amazing things, they do better at Cyprus when they're A through G. And they persist better. In other words, they enroll in the next year at Cyprus and the next year, and then they transfer to a 4-year for a degree at a higher rate. So we're trying to change that narrative a little bit of, yeah, we love that our grad rate is so high. We do not want that to go down. That's incredible. But what we know from looking at data is that our students are most successful when they transition to the next phase of whatever it is after high school, if they're A through G, if they've completed those courses, if they've taken a 4th year of math and not taken a gap year of math. Math is one of those things you can't really take a gap year. At least I can't. My brain, oh my gosh, I can't stop math. Then I can't pick it up again. It's kind of one of those things. Or doing that extra year of language, and they're opting out of that year of language because they want to take another elective. So those are the kinds of things that we're going to be thinking on, and you as parents can help with that. Like, no, let's take another year of math. Let's take another year of Spanish or French or Korean or whatever it is that we're taking. And you guys can push on that a little bit in the back of your mind, thinking, yeah, even if my child does choose to go to Cyprus, which is a great option, they're going to be better prepared when they're at Cyprus. Do you want to make any comments about that?
Yeah. If you've never heard of what A through G is, you can come and talk to me after the coffee with the principal. It's pretty, I wouldn't say complicated, but there's a lot of steps as to what classes students are recommended to take if they're entering a 4-year university. And just within the theme of preparing you for success, we want all our Kennedy Fighting Irish to be successful, and parents as well. So if you've never heard A through G, don't worry. We can always explain it after.
And your child's counselor is a really go-to person to check in with. You could even just shoot them an email and say, hey, is my kid on track for A through G right now? And what classes would they need to add in order to get that? Just to see, right? One of the things that I love the most about Kennedy is I feel like there is something for every type of kid. Now, whether or not students avail themselves of the different opportunities is another story, but no matter what type of kid your kid is, there is something here at Kennedy for your kid. And it is one of my favorite things about Kennedy High School. So, sports. Last year, we got re-leagued, and it was good for us. We got moved into a league where we were competitive, where we could hold our own, and we had multiple CIF championships and league titles because of that. If your child is interested in sports, it is an incredible way to be a part of the school community. It's an incredible way to make friends. It's an incredible way to learn grit and tenacity. If you've never run 8 miles in cross country, that's what the students ran yesterday, 8 miles in cross country. I said, somebody would have to be chasing me for that to be happening. Clubs. We're going to talk about Club Rush, which is actually next week. So Club Rush is going to be next week. There are so many clubs. If you can think of a club, Kennedy has it. If you can think of an organization or an opportunity to be involved, Kennedy has it. And so Club Rush is going to be next week. It's at lunch. And students are able to walk around and look at all the clubs and sign up to one that they're interested. So what does that mean for you, the parent? Encourage them to do it. Encourage them to go to Club Rush and sign up. ASB is our associated student body. We have about 54 student leaders in our ASB program who are working every single day to make this campus better for the student experience. And they are an incredible, incredible group of kids. Absolutely impressive group of kids. Future presidents are sitting in that ASB class right now, I promise you. We have service organizations, so organizations where their entire ideology comes from a place of volunteerism or service. For example, PALS, RSVP, which is raising student voice participation. So it's where students get together and talk about how can they make Kennedy go from good to great. What are the ideas that they have? They come up with a bunch of ideas. They whittle it down to like 1 or 2 ideas, and then they present it to the principal, and I try to see how we make it happen. Avid. We don't actually have Avid here, but Avid skills are embedded in there. We need to delete that one. Link Crew. We do have Link Crew. Our new student orientation for freshmen on the very first day of school was run by a cohort of ASB students and Link Crew students. Incredible. Our pathways are a way for students to be involved as well. So our different CTE pathways, our incredible culinary arts and hospitality pathway, taught by our incredible Miss Zapeta, who they learn how to make incredible, amazing things, and they walk around eating their pasta that they made fresh every day. I'm jealous of all of their food that they make. Our incredible AI pathway, which is exclusive to Kennedy High School. For those of you who IB isn't a pathway, but some of you have come to Kennedy specifically for the rigorous IB program. We are the only school in the Anaheim Union High School District with an IB diploma program, which is the most rigorous diploma that you can get. And it is recognized not just nationwide, but it's international diploma as well. Hello, my dear. I feel the same way. We have AIM. That is our mentoring program where students in the summer actually get to work. And then around September, so our students that worked this year, around September, they're going to be handed a check and they get to deposit their check. Guys, our kids don't know how to deposit checks, by the way. They don't have any idea what to do with a check. So if you're one of the parents of an AIM student who did an AIM mentorship over the summer, you're going to have to help them learn how to deposit. They really do. They look at it like it's this foreign object and they've never seen something like it before. And I can't just Venmo it. Like they don't even know. Eventually, maybe we'll just be able to Venmo people money, but through their work. Our dual enrollment opportunities. This is where on Kennedy High School campus, they get to take a college course. Now, the first one that they take is this Freshman Counseling 140 course, and it is just a 1-unit course. It's not going to be super rigorous, which is good, right? Because we really just want them to get comfortable with the idea of a professor from Cypress College coming on campus, comfortable with the idea of putting their learning on a different platform besides Cadence. They use Canvas instead. So really it's this 1-unit course to get them sort of prepped. And then once they've taken that course, they can take these other 5-unit courses that really feel like college courses. So if you're interested in that Counseling 140, reach out to your counselor because I think there's still some opportunity to sign up for that. And then, as you know, we have an incredible visual and performing arts programs at Kennedy High School. Incredible. And we did indeed just hire a new choir director. Everything is going to be okay, my friends. We're just waiting for them to get through the process and come on over. But take a breath with me. It's going to be okay. All right. Here is Club Rush next week, August 28th and 29th. This is pictures from last year's Club Rush. As you can see, we have a Black Student Union. We have a Film and Lit Club. We have a Red Cross here. We have Latinos Unidos here. What is this one?
Cabayan.
Okay. Really? I can't see. I see the flag. Really a lot of different clubs that are both cultural, ability, skill, interest. There's a ping pong club. Would you be good at it? Oh, a guest lecturer for ping pong club. Oops, sorry, honey. You want to come over here by me?
Unfortunately, there's no breakdancing club. I could have been the advisor for that one. Yeah. First line item, Bengay.
There is a hip hop club, though. So there isn't a breakdancing club, but there is a hip hop club. All right, I'm going to pass it over to Mr. David Hernandez because he's going to talk through, well, what does parent involvement look like at high school? What does parent involvement look like at Kennedy?
So typically parent involvement can be before school, after school, during school. There's so much you can do as a parent. You're here at a coffee with the principal. That's involvement. So first step, you're here, A+. So let's go over this. So boosters. So actually tomorrow we're having a volunteer palooza. I'll actually be going over it. But if you're not clear to volunteer, typically we ask all parents who are volunteering here at our campus to be cleared to volunteer, just for legal reasons as well as security reasons. We want to make sure your students are safe in an environment where they're safe. And we don't want any outsiders who aren't cleared, around your kids. So we also have the Parent Leadership Academy. So typically the first semester, we really want to empower parents through this academy. We'll have 4 module sessions that we do and a graduation. So this is teaching parents how to, be advocates in the community. Again, going over those soft and hard skills, because maybe you've never learned that. Maybe, you're an accountant. I don't know, but I'm not trying to throw them under the bus or anything. But maybe that's not something you ever had to learn. So this is a great
I would
way.
like an accountant in the family.
Yeah.
That sounds like that would be really good.
So maybe it was never something you've maybe ever gone through. So we always provide those parents every year the opportunity to go through this academy. Last year, Kennedy had probably the most graduates out of the whole district. We had 20 something parents plus. So we're hoping to keep that, going. So
more guys, no pressure. We got
no pressure.
Dave and I are very competitive,
Yeah.
and we
You'll get
like
your own Kennedy
we
swag,
like winning,
green
and
t-shirt.
so we fully expect more parents this
And
year.
people know when Kennedy walk in, there'll be a couple other color shirts, but then you'll see a wave of green shirts, and it's a lot of awesome parents. So again, if you're interested, please reach out to me. We also have school site council. So if you want to be on a board full of parents, students, teachers, admin, classified staff, we also go over these decisions, funding, lots of important decisions at school safety plans. There's a lot of different elements in the school site council, and we're actually looking for students too. So if your students are interested, please reach out to me. We also have our awesome PTSA. They're in charge of all the different events here on campus. Right now they have a spirit wear drive. So if you haven't seen it on the announcements, you can go on our website, our Instagram page, KI for Life. I think sales end this Friday. So if you want to put that order in, go ahead. Parent ambassadors. So last year we launched our first parent ambassador program here at Kennedy High School. We also had about around 25 parents or so that we graduated. So that's a commitment. We ask parents to do 100 hours a year. It seems like a lot, but you'll actually knock it out pretty fast. And
what do you get if you're a parent ambassador? What do
Yes.
they win, David?
So you get those cool student designed and made keychain ID card placards that students design, like I said, through one of our pathways through AI. Yeah.
Yes. VIP access. So you no longer, when you have that, it means that you are cleared. You've gone through the process as a volunteer to be cleared, and you no longer need the visitor's badge. You're no longer a visitor at Kennedy High School. You're now part of the family. Give 100 hours, you get to be part of the family.
Yeah. And then,
yeah, she has one for Walker. She's about to have one for Kennedy.
And then I think the thing that is most exciting, so our senior parents, I'll be there at the graduation very early to save y'all some priority preferred seats. So the only job you have to do at graduation is show up. I'll take care of everything else. I'll take care of all the seating. Maybe I'll bring you a cold water if you were cool with me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I just wanted to, that's another one that a lot of people look forward to. So it really depends on student body and all that. But the graduation tickets will usually get announced a month before. But I don't think there were any issues last year with people. There was quite a generous amount given. And then SPAC, so that's the Superintendent's Parent Advisory Committee. We're also looking for new parents. So if you're interested, please let me know. That's a month. I think they meet bi-monthly. They meet with the superintendent, and then they just go over, maybe issues or different kinds of policies, what's going on around the district. So it's a really good way to get involved and be, again, representing Kennedy, because that's another thing that our parent ambassador program does well, is I think we always need to mobilize representatives from Kennedy, and what better way than a group of parents.
Okay. This is Mr. Jeff Howe, our assistant principal, and we don't have Irish TV yet, and so because they're still prepping the students to make it. So he's going to talk for like 10 minutes, and we're not going to talk over him.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Yesterday, the Lady Irish started their home schedule.
Maybe it's less as a. Oh no, when it's
Lady Irish, all
ITV, it won't be a problem. Now this is a bad time.
Yeah.
From Savannah, all 3 levels. So congratulations to coach ladies and all of the other coaches on board.
Is there a timeout on the broadcast?
Softball meeting this afternoon.
We need to on our broadcast go. We'll return shortly.
Young lady interested in playing softball this year, there is a meeting on the softball field at 3:30.
If anyone needs a spray, coffee, pastry.
Yes, this would be a good time to get a pastry, a coffee. Mr. Howe doesn't mess around. He's a talker.
So, club president.
It's supposed to only be a couple, right?
This week, Wednesday at lunch in room 605. Please be there. Club president meeting this Wednesday at lunch in room 605. All right, now I need everyone to talk or listen to me right here. Okay, because we have a problem that's starting to get out of control. And students are getting into trouble because they are not following this simple rule. So here's what we're gonna do. So I need everyone to pay attention. Teachers, you can help me with this as well. During passing period, your job during passing period is to go from one class to the next.
Can you hear me? Clap twice. That was Mr. Jeff Howe. And we are back. A good break, coffee break, pastry break.
I think we're on the next slide.
On the next
Yeah.
slide. Clicker.
So we also wanted to go over some important staff to know. I think, if you're new to Kennedy, maybe you've been here a couple times, you have another kid who's passed by. It's still important to kind of go over what kind of staff we have because we're all a team ready to support your family, not just your students, but you as a parent as well.
So really your number one point person for most things is going to be the teacher. That's your number one. They're the ones that spend 53 minutes a period with your student every day. Is it 52? He's like correcting me. 52 minutes. Oh, 57. I don't know. Whatever. Almost an hour every day with your student. And so really they're going to probably be that first person to email, to reach out to after your student has tried, right? That autonomous training that we're trying to do. So kind of have them reach out. But if they're refusing, because sometimes they will, like my youngest who's now 19 and still struggling, sometimes they're refusing and I don't want to email the teacher and you have to do it. But that is going to be really your first reach out, because they're the ones that are going to know. And if you're reaching out to counselors or AP about something that's happening in the class, what are we going to do? We're going to go to the teacher and be like, what's going on? So it's like, go to the source, right? That's your first person. The counselor, which are grade level counselors. So our freshman counselor is Miss Robles. Our sophomore counselor is Mrs. Hernandez. Our junior counselor is Ms. Yoon, and our senior counselor is Mr. Hara. And so you're going to be reaching out to your student's counselor. Now, if your student is in IB, then your student's counselor is Miss Chan. She is our lead counselor and special programs counselor. So if they enter the IB diploma program in their junior year, they adopt Miss Chan, who knows everything about IB, and she's the one that you want navigating. So that's this next person to reach out to. The attendance clerk, you want to be on first name basis with them. Lisa and Barb. All right. They like sparkly things. They like treats. No, I don't know. I don't know if they do. But you want to make sure that you are calling in. You also want to make sure in the event that you have to pick up your child. Let's say your child, the only way you could get a doctor's appointment, because I know how those are so hard to get, is to get like a 2:30 appointment, which means you need to pick up at 2:00. It's before the end of the school day. So if you know that in advance, the best thing to do is to email Lisa or Barb or call in the morning, first thing in the morning, and say, I need to pick up my child at 2:00. And they will arrange to have your child waiting for you in the attendance office at 2:00. If you show up at 2:00 and I say, I want my child right now, your child could be dressed out for PE, and they have to go back in, and they have to put their street clothes back on, and they have to close their locker, and then they have to walk all the way up from PE. They could be taking a test back in fourth court, and they have to finish their test. Lord knows they need to finish their test, right? So really, that's the best way. If you have to, for any reason, to pick up your child early, we encourage you not to do it, but we also know it happens. Like doctor's appointments they're like, I have one tomorrow. You're like, I'll take it. And we understand. The next one is a social worker. And I think sometimes when we hear social worker, we think it's people that come to the house to take children away. I promise you that's not what this person does. This person is the person that meets with our students who might have mental health needs and need support. That's who this person is. This person is the person who supports our students who are on 504 plans, that she coordinates accommodations. Her name is Stephanie Servin, and she's a very, very good person to know. She also has a lot of outside resources as well. Stephanie Servin. She also has a lot of outside resources. So you might not want your child to do group counseling at school, but you'd like a resource for them to be able to have access to something off campus, like weekends, afternoons, maybe a telehealth kind of thing. She has all of those resources as well. So she's a really, really important person to know. She is incredibly kind. Always on top and very helpful. I'm going to tell her that, because oftentimes in education, we hear when things aren't going right. So I'm going to share with her what you said. She's going to be pleased to hear that. We love that. And then we've got the admin. That's me, principal, and you have 3 assistant principals. So you have Mr. Jeff Howe. He's who you heard. He's the big, tall guy. He was a student here at Kennedy High School. He was a teacher here at Kennedy High School. He was Mr. Irish when he was a student, a big award. I know. Why is he so grumpy and doesn't want to participate in all my nonsense, though? He was like in ASB. He's turned grumpy. Well, let's wear costumes. He says, no. Okay, everybody else will. You'll be on your own. Um, he is also returned, of course, as an assistant principal. We have Miss Amanda Bryant. She is with us as well. This is, I think, her 4th year here at Kennedy High School, so has that tradition of Kennedy. And then we've welcomed a brand new assistant principal, new to Kennedy, but not new to the assistant principal life, Dr. Esther Cho. And Dr. Cho comes to us from Oxford Academy, where she had been an assistant principal for about 8 years, I think. So all very experienced administration. And then if your student has an IEP, the next person that you want to make sure that you know who is the case carrier. Now, if you look at your student's schedule, if you see a 9th period at the bottom, it says 9th period, and it will say progress monitoring, and then it'll have a teacher's name. That is your student's case carrier. Don't worry, they don't actually have a 9th period class. I don't even know what time that class would meet. It's just a way for us to indicate who that student's support person is. So if you look at your student schedule, that 9th period class that says progress monitoring, that name there, that's the case carrier. And if they haven't already reached out to you, they will be reaching out to you because they are needing to set up meetings. They're needing to find out how best to support your student. And they have already done some meetings. If your student came from Walker, we do something called fly-ups where we support students in that transition from Walker to Kennedy. So if your student came from Walker, your case carrier probably already knows what a lot of your students' needs are. And then we have Faces. That's Super David. Everybody loves David Hernandez. Your son, and a lot of I'll come in and pop my head in, and the people are like, have brought him lunch and stuff.
Can you tell us what FACES stands for?
Yeah, FACES stands for Family and Community Engagement Specialist. So across Anaheim Union High School District, every single school site has a dedicated person to support engagement with families and communities. And that's pretty incredible. This is his space, his room, he's like his classroom, but it is to support parents in our community. Not only does he do outreach to you guys as our families, but he also is in really close contact with members of the community to be able to support like our pantry. So we have any of our families that might be food insecure, we have a pantry where our families can come in and grab anything that they might need. He has a lot of school supplies for any students that might need school supplies, even just that day, or maybe they need school supplies because they just need school supplies. So he's got a lot of that. You want to talk about what else you got going on in here?
Yeah, so you're in the Family and Community Engagement Center. This is where we'll have most of our workshops, different kinds of events here, our parent ambassador, welcome training, all that. We also have a student closet. So if your students need any clothes throughout the year, I have winter clothes, summer clothes, you name it, I got it. Lots of donations from the community as well.
And he has bus passes.
Yeah, bus passes. Also, the person who sends out all the communications, all the Sunday newsletters. So you may have seen a message from David Hernandez. I try to schedule him a little bit earlier, 5 p.m., 3 p.m. You'll never get a message from David Hernandez or John F. Kennedy at 10 p.m. So ignore those ones. But yeah, just stay informed. You can also follow us on K-High for Life. That's our Instagram. We'll also be posting more parent events as well. So again, anyway, eCadence, Aries, I also help with that. So if you have any issues with the app has a lot of issues. So just bear with us. Yeah, that's all me.
And then the final group of people that I think is you really want to make sure that you understand is, again, if your student has an IEP, so like a case carrier, then your student is also going to be working with a school psychologist. Our school psychologists work with our students who have IEPs. If they have counseling written into their IEPs, it's the school psychologists that offer that counseling service. So it's not the social worker. The social workers work with all the other students, and the school psychologists work with those students that have IEPs. And so we have two. They're incredible. We have Miss Schilling and Miss Walters. They are our school psychologists for Kennedy High School. Incredible. So if you get any emails from them. So we've talked a lot about that, like who these people are and kind of what they do. And we're doing that because what we really want you to know is that you're not alone. If you ever feel like you're having trouble navigating high school or you're having trouble navigating Kennedy, that's probably an issue on our part. And we implore you to reach out to us. So reach out to Mr. Hernandez. He's going to be able to put you in touch with any of these other people who might be able to provide that support that you really, really need. So he's really your go-to, your point person. How incredible to have somebody whose like sole job is to support you, right? So he can put you in touch with school counselors. He can even in his email response to you or in phone call response to you, let you know who it is. He can even reach out on your behalf. If you have, for example, maybe English is not your first language and you're not sure how to communicate effectively to your counselor, Mr. Hernandez can do that on your behalf. And so just kind of keeping that in mind. He can do the same with school psychologists, school social workers, if you feel like you might need that as a resource. He also has access to district and school site mental health focused workshops if you need any of that. And then he can support you with referrals to community agencies as well. So really, he's your guy.
I have business cards now, so
He's official. He's official. You want to talk about these little pieces?
So we have several platforms across the district that we use to send communications, check grades. We're not asking you to be super tech savvy, but we do ask you to maybe check often to see your students' grades, maybe their attendance, whatnot. So we have Aries and Parent Square. So those are the same company. Parent Square is probably where you got the coffee with the principal message, and Aries is what houses that. That's where you can see your students' grades. You probably did data confirmation over the summer. You can see their attendance, like I mentioned, and their teachers, their schedule, all of that good stuff. Now, eCadence. eCadence is the app where most of the students turn in their homework. They also get to see each class, all their assignments, maybe like the textbook they might need for that class. It's also a way for you to check their assignments. You as a parent have access to eCadence, and you can check if the student opened their assignment or not. So I wish I had a photo, but it's really detailed. It'll say if the assignment was submitted, they haven't opened it, when they opened it, have they even looked at it, etc. But
so yeah, we can go get pizza, but have you done your assignment first? Yes, of course I have. You can check.
Yeah.
And how much time they've spent on it. In the parent view too?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. They're
Yeah.
saying yes.
See, if I
I
was
know
a
that
student,
view is a little different between the parent view and the student view.
yeah, if I was a student, eCadence back in the day would have been my worst nightmare. Not anymore. Newsletters. So every Sunday I send a newsletter through S'more. This has all our community announcements, maybe stuff that's going on around school. Maybe
You will always have a letter from your principal
yes.
every
week.
Sunday, recapping last week's events and things I'm excited about for this week.
And if I ever miss something, please email me, let me know. I would love to put all the different kinds of events going on around our school, but sometimes I don't get a hold till maybe after I publish a newsletter. Social media. So this is something we're big on at K High for Life. Like I can't say it enough. If you want to follow us, you'll see photos of your students, different clubs announcing their meetings, etc. We try to do a pretty good job of announcing our games each week as well. So it's a great way just to stay informed about everything that's going on around school. And then, of course, our website. So it's a one-stop shop for all our staff, our emails, and whatnot.
And going back to the newsletter and my Sunday letter, one of my favorite things is talking about our kids and how incredible they are. I love it. It absolutely is my favorite thing. Like I'm getting like all emotional from it because our kids are so incredible. So if you have that information, like I can't be everywhere, even though I try to be most places, but I can't be everywhere. So if you have information like this organization went to this competition and they just killed it, or they played with honor and pride and Irish way, and even if they didn't win and you want to tell me about it, please either email me or email David, and he'll get that information to me. And I'm putting that in my newsletter. Like, I love it. And if I don't know about it, I can't include it. I know sometimes like Poppy always talks about this and this and this. And it's like, well, that's because that's the information I'm getting, right? So if there's something that's out there that you really, really want me to know about because it's so incredible and we want to showcase it for our community, let me know, because it is just my absolute favorite thing.
All right. So just to kind of highlight, recap everything we went over, you know, students, your students with your support, which we obviously can see because you're here today, you know, they're in higher grades and test scores. They're attending school regularly. They're developing social skills and adapting. Again, Club Rush is next week. We want everyone to be involved here and feel like they belong. Because I think once students feel like they belong and truly feel like a Fighting Irish, then, you know, they can succeed.
Mm-hmm.
They can enroll in CTE and challenging classes, pass classes, and of course, like we said, A through G requirements, not only just making the bare minimum to graduate, but going above and beyond to have a competitive college application. And again, pursue college and careers. So last year, lots of our Fighting Irish went to USC, UCLA, the top prestigious schools, and we want to keep that.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame, Princeton, full ride to Princeton. We want to keep that prestige going. So we're really proud to support you and your students on that journey.
And we know that this is a mutually beneficial relationship. So we know that you being here already means that you're involved and engaged. So bring a friend next time. Bring 2 friends next time, or encourage your friends to log on, because we see the data and we know that involved parents and parents that have a positive relationship between home and school, that's not adversarial, that thinks about home and school relationship as being, we're working together to support our young adult to grow into the most amazing person that they can be. Those people, as we are working together, all of these things, the data tells us that all of these things become true when we work together as a community. Upcoming dates and events.
All right. So if you'd like to be more involved on campus, here's some things we got going on. So if your student is considered an English learner, we have the ELAC meetings. That's the English Learner Advisory Committee. So we're asking parents to join us so that we can help you on that reclassification journey. Reclassified means you take the state test, which is the LPAC, you pass it, and you're considered no longer an English learner.
And you're considered then at that point bilingual.
Mm-hmm. And we see that as an advantage. You know,
Mm-hmm.
speaking 2 languages here in California gives you so many opportunities for jobs that you would never even think of. So we want to celebrate that, but also we want to support those students into getting that reclassification. And you have the opportunity to get your sealed by literacy at the end of your 4-year journey. Saturday Academy. So I know it's pretty early, but we also have a Saturday Academy for students who are seeking volunteer hours, more support on a certain class, maybe clear detention because they want to go to a school dance or whatnot. That's coming up September 6th. Now, here's the big one. September 8th is already our back to school night. So
sorry,
please,
it's a Monday.
Yeah, please add those to your calendar. We'll be sending lots of announcements. This week, we'll have a flyer sent out to all parents. It's 5 to 8 p.m. here at Kennedy High School. We'll also be having a resource fair with several of our community partners in the entrance. So please feel free to stop by and get some resources.
Our very own school resource officer, Officer Perez, will be DJing on the quad stage from 5 to 6 p.m. DJ Laz is what he goes by when he's in his DJ persona.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, we do everything here at Kennedy. You know?
We're crazy.
And then on September 12th, we'll have a technology workshop in Spanish from 9 to 10. We'll also have one in English, but we typically do one separately in Spanish just because tech workshops, no one knows their access to their password through the email. So it's very specific, targeted supports. And that'll be at Walker Parent Center. Like I said, tomorrow,
Volunteer-a-palooza.
We want you to be cleared to participate here. So if you scan this QR code, it'll send you to our district website to be signed up through Raptor. Once you do that, you can come by tomorrow, take your volunteer orientation, you're cleared. We want to do it as easy as possible for you here at Kennedy. You don't have to go all the way to CVA or attend it virtual, maybe virtual is more
for
convenient.
our people sitting in here and people watching us at home, if you are involved in a booster organization and you want to get a lot of your booster members cleared, this is the same way. So get them in, signed up, get them cleared.
Yeah, we're making it as easy as possible.
Volunteer-a-palooza,
Can't miss it.
not to be missed.
Yeah. So if you've already done the orientation once, you never have to do
That's
it
an
again.
excellent question. Yeah, you only have to
You
be
might have
cleared once.
to re-upload a TB test after a couple of years, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And then this is hot off the presses. Save the date, September 26th. We're having our Anaheim Collaborative Family Summit. So this is in our backyard at Cypress College. Every year we have a family summit, and we'll have transportation provided. But if you're living really close, I think they were going to arrange parking because it's so close to us. This is a great way for you to attend workshops. Maybe you've never gone through the FAFSA process. Maybe this is your first student who's on their path to college. There's several workshops across it's from 8:30 to 2 p.m. There's several workshops. There'll be a lunch provided. There's also a resource fair sponsored by the city of Anaheim. There's lots of great information here. You attend one, you might absorb the information a little bit. You attend a couple, and you're really starting to get this college going process.
And remember, we're competitive. So we want as many parents as possible wearing Kennedy Fighting Irish green is humanly possible. 100, no problem. We
the
love
capacity is 500, so if we can get 100
it.
parents there.
Yes. Let's do it, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. Interpretation will be in American Sign Language, Spanish, Korean, and Vietnamese. So
So we're really looking forward to seeing you all there. I'll be there as well. So again, it's great. I went through some of those workshops, and when I have kids in the future, I'll be ready for college. So questions, comments?
we have like 1 minute.
Is it parents only at the summit? Or
Yeah, parents
Yes.
only.
Okay.
Yes, that's an excellent question. Yeah, it is a parent summit, parents only. Question? No? You're good. That was my teacher presence.
I have another question.
Yes.
Yeah.
I missed the first part, so I don't know if we talked about this. How are we? I know you said you were gonna do something for logging in when we do our volunteer hours. Have you figured that out?
Yeah, so I'll be sending either you can do digital or on paper. I'll be doing a monthly check-in. So you can put in all your events, log that through.
For
and
those
I'll-
people that are trying to get the parent ambassador badge.
And I'll
Yeah.
do all the back end work, but I think it'll be more organized. Some people prefer digitally. I prefer paper. I'm so old school like that. So yeah, we'll provide that option.
And our last slide, if you have not been following us, we would like you to follow us on all of our platforms. So we have Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. This video is up on YouTube, so you can rewatch it if you want to see the goofiness. And then in addition, you will also be able to stream our ITV presentations on that same platform as well. So starting on Monday, our announcements, like what Mr. Howe did, will be on ITV, and you'll be able to watch those every Monday. So if your student comes home and says, nobody ever told me that, you can be like, yeah, they did. They for sure did. They absolutely did tell you that. But Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, your preferred social media platform is a really, really good way to stay in touch. We are putting the Green Out Friday information. We're doing late start Thursday reminders. We are putting all of that information up there. We're going to let you know that this Friday is our first home football game. Yes. Against Pacifica at Handle, starting at 7 p.m. Wear green. With that, we thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you. Bye.
Please help yourself to more pastries.